The 20th century was a tumultuous period in Iranian history, marked by significant political upheaval, foreign intervention, and social change. Here's a brief synopsis. Constitutional Revolution, 1905 to 1911. Iranians, frustrated with the absolute rule of the Qajar dynasty, initiated a constitutional movement demanding political reforms, leading to the establishment of Iran's first constitution in 1906 and the formation of a parliament. Reza Shah's rule, 1925 to 1941. Reza Khan, an army officer, seized power and eventually crowned himself Reza Shah, initiating a period of modernization and secularization known as the Pahlavi era. Reza Shah centralized power, implemented Western-inspired reforms, and sought to diminish the influence of religious clerics. Anglo-Soviet invasion, 1941. During World War II, British and Soviet forces invaded Iran to secure oil resources and ensure the transportation of military supplies to the Soviet Union. This led to the abdication of Reza Shah in favor of his son, Mohammad Reza Shah. Mohammad Mossadegh and the nationalization of oil, 1951 to 1953. Mossadegh, a nationalist prime minister, nationalized Iran's oil industry, challenging British control. In response, the British, with CIA support, orchestrated a coup in 1953, reinstating the Shah and solidifying Western influence in Iran. The White Revolution, 1963. Mohammad Reza Shah launched a series of reforms aimed at modernizing Iran and consolidating his power. The White Revolution included land reforms, women's suffrage, and industrial development, but faced opposition from traditionalists and religious leaders. Islamic Revolution, 1979. Growing discontent with the Shah's autocratic rule, westernization, and human rights abuses culminated in the Iranian Revolution. Led by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, the revolution overthrew the Shah's regime, establishing an Islamic republic based on Shia principles. Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988. Shortly after the revolution, Iraq invaded Iran, sparking an 8-year-long conflict that resulted in significant casualties and economic devastation, but ultimately solidified the revolutionary regime's grip on power. Post-war reconstruction and political repression. In the aftermath of the Iran-Iraq War, the Islamic Republic focused on rebuilding the country while also suppressing political dissent and imposing strict religious laws. The regime's authoritarianism led to widespread human rights abuses and international isolation. Economic challenges and social unrest. Despite its vast oil wealth, Iran has faced economic challenges, exacerbated by international sanctions and mismanagement. This has contributed to widespread dissatisfaction among the population, leading to periodic protests and calls for reform. Throughout the 20th century, Iran experienced a complex interplay of internal dynamics and external pressures, shaping its political trajectory and societal development. The legacy of these historical events continues to influence Iran's domestic politics, regional dynamics, and international relations in the 21st century. The Machiavellian tactics of Iran's duplicitous leadership. Iran's political landscape is fraught with deception, corruption, and the exploitation of religion for personal gain. To understand the complexities of Iran's leadership, one must adopt a Machiavellian perspective that acknowledges the manipulation of power dynamics and the pursuit of self-interest at any cost. Historically, Iran's trajectory has been shaped by Machiavellian maneuvers disguised as religious revolution. Mohammad Mossadegh's nationalist stance against the UK's exploitation of Iranian oil threatened the interests of global powers. In response, MI6 orchestrated his downfall, paving the way for a regime more amenable to foreign influence. The installation of the Shah by the CIA and MI6 exemplifies the ruthless pursuit of strategic advantage, regardless of ethical considerations. The Shah, initially a puppet of Western powers, eventually succumbed to the allure of absolute power, declaring himself an emperor. This move alienated his foreign backers, leading to their collaboration with Ayatollah Khomeini to orchestrate his downfall. The strategic calculation was clear: replace one compliant regime with another that could better serve Western interests under the guise of religious revolution. However, the purported religious revolution led by Khomeini quickly revealed its Machiavellian underpinnings. While presenting themselves as champions of Islamic principles, the clerics in power exploited religion to consolidate their authority and enrich themselves. The imposition of strict religious laws masked a culture of corruption and hypocrisy, wherein the ruling elite indulged in decadent lifestyles funded by the exploitation of Iran's resources. Furthermore, the offspring of Iran's corrupt clerical class reside comfortably in the West, enjoying the fruits of their family's ill-gotten gains while hypocritically denouncing Western influence. This pattern mirrors the behavior of the Shah's cronies, who amassed wealth abroad while their countrymen suffered under oppressive regimes. In this Machiavellian saga, the people of Iran are mere pawns in a geopolitical game of power and influence. The exploitation of religion as a tool for control highlights the cynicism of Iran's leadership, who prioritize self-preservation and enrichment over the well-being of their citizens. The call for revolution echoes Machiavelli's assertion that change is inevitable when rulers fail to meet the needs of their subjects. In conclusion, Iran's leadership embodies Machiavelli's principles of power and deception, using religion as a cloak to conceal their true motives. The historical trajectory of Iran reveals a pattern of manipulation, corruption, and hypocrisy that underscores the need for change. Only by challenging the entrenched power structures and exposing the duplicity of the ruling elite can Iran hope to break free from the grip of its Machiavellian leaders and embark on a path towards genuine reform and progress.